welcome you to Tales of Logistics podcast, Steve. And today we're going to talk a lot about business. Because I looked at your profile in LinkedIn and I saw a lot of work you've done. Like you have an MBA, you're the CEO or president of an institution that's called Carefree Cave Creek Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah,
Correct?
I'm turning them around right now.
You're turning them around right now. And then you run 2 podcasts. And now you just told me that you're starting a new podcast.
Yes.
Does that not come off like a lot to you?
Not really. I mean, I've owned and operated 7 businesses in the past, and this is now my 4th turnaround. So it's in my blood about business and helping people to grow their businesses because I found my passion. Thank God I found it years and years ago. And I got tired of seeing small businesses fail. So my whole mission has been driven, how can I help small businesses succeed?
At what point in your career path or your time did you figure that this is what I want to do?
Couldn't figure it out for the longest time, but then I started teaching classes called ABCs of Starting a Business, and I did that 3 times a month I did it for a decade. I think it was in that first year I started really mentoring a lot of these entrepreneurs, and I also say, like Mark Cuban says, wantrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs.
And I started seeing, the shifts, and I started noticing all these entrepreneurs or startups had the exact same problems. And it was like focus, your target market. I mean, the simple things. And then I went and interviewed highly successful people who built their businesses from nothing and interviewed them on one of the podcasts. And I got their deep secrets. And they said the same thing. It took me years to figure out my true focus, my true passion. I failed 5 times before. I've done this. No one had a one-hit success. They all had failures. And I'm like, well, yeah, I can be in that category too. I mean, not all my businesses were raving successes.
Yeah.
But it was determination and focus and really knowing where your burning desire lies. And once I found that, I was like, I'm off to the races.
And that's what you're going to be talking about today, the business side of it, your experience, your qualification will really help a lot of businesses that will listen to the podcast. We'll focus more on the logistics and the supply chain industry. And there are a lot of small businesses in it, a lot of small businesses in it, in North America, in Europe, even in Africa, a lot of small businesses in it. So that brings me to my first question. Sorry, I have my questions written.
Yeah, that's fine. I know that world of logistics and supply chain pretty well from many businesses I've been involved in.
So my first question is, what are the things that if I want to start a business, for instance, I can consider, I can think about properly? Because you've talked about how you interviewed, discussed with several business owners, and there were errors or steps they took. So I would like to reiterate on that, or we'll have you talk about it a little bit more. What are the things that you think that anyone who wants to start a business should give a thorough thought about before venturing into it?
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. You better put thought into it before you put money in it. I'd rather spend my time right now thinking about it versus throwing money at it and going down a wrong path.
Yeah.
The first thing is like, okay, what are you passionate about? You got to find that passion. Or if you think, oh, this sounds like a good trending market, are you going to be passionate about it? Are you going to really help people? Or are you going to do it just to try to make $1? And people will see right through you on that one.
Interesting.
So your passion is, and also, I mean, it took me my second business, I started realizing what are the problems my target market has. And I spent a lot of time honing in who are my target markets. I ignored everyone else. Who's my target market?
What's your target market?
That's where my passion lied. What are their problems? And I interviewed on my second company. I don't know how many people I interviewed on that. And I heard the same problems over and over. And it's like, how can I provide that solution to their problems? All of a sudden that clicked. And I built a business, my second business, literally within 24 hours, had a business plan, everything up and running, and started pounding my Rolodex, if you will. But I had a clear message of who it was for, what problems I solved for them, and how they can benefit. That was the key to like, boom. And talking to a lot of successful entrepreneurs, that was their moment of clarity as well.
If I get my target market or my target market segment and I find the problem they have and I find the solution, is there a timeline between having the ideal and the strategy and execution? Do you think I need to wait for a few months or drag a little bit or just get right into it?
I think it's going to be different for everybody. Because one of my businesses, I was still running another business, turning it around, but I'm like, okay, they're almost done. What's my next step? So I had an idea who my market is, but let me do a lot of research. So I researched it for about 3 months to get really crystal clear on my message and my marketing and who am I want to say, take on as clients and who I'm not. And then once I had that, I actually tested it with people in the industry, people I knew. Please give me feedback. And meanwhile, I have not spent one penny on this except time. It's time. And I got the feedback for it and I redefined, tweaked, whatever you want to use. I tested it again and people were like, when are you starting this? When can I sign up? And I was like, that's the moment. Now let me go open up my LLC. Let's get the tax licenses. Let's start a landing page. Let's go. And
because the testing part is why I think I've seen small businesses have problems with.
Right. They just open and go.
They just open and go. They don't think about it. Some are very shy. Some don't even know about it. Some don't even know how to do it.
Exactly.
You know? So how crucial is this part, this testing? Have a little bit of test run on the idea or the business you want to do. How crucial do you think would you recommend that it should be?
I think it's very crucial, especially nowadays. So many people have a good idea, but is it marketable? Is it sellable? Are you solving someone's problems? Is it a need or a want? Those kind of things. So I'd say that beginning thought process is very critical nowadays because there's so much noise out there and people are just spamming and throwing whatever at the wall and hope it sticks. By you putting the thought into it and really being crystal clear on your market and your message, it's going to separate you from all that other junk. So
speaking about separating me from all other junks, what are the things that a small business owner should not do, that from your experience, that they do that they're not supposed to be doing?
The number one thing I hear is everyone is my target market. Number one, hands down. That's the biggest lie they're telling themselves. Not everyone's your target market. So if you're selling women's shoes and they're only for a certain type of woman who likes 5-inch stilettos, not everyone is your target market. But your messaging and your marketing is trying to be everyone because you think you're going to lose a sale. The reverse is true. If you are crystal clear on your message and who your market is, you will actually increase your sales. And I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't think like that. They're thinking the loss versus the gain. And I've been there. I know. I see it all the time. I thought one more, well, everyone should love my product. This is the greatest thing ever. And it was grade A junk. No one wanted it.
Okay. What about spending?
Spending, I say, okay, a lot of people, I call it jumping the cubicle. So you leave a corporate job to start and build a better widget. You didn't think things through. You just know you can build a better widget. And you don't know everything about business yet. You don't know about accounting, operations, logistics, shipping. It just goes on and on. You just know you're a technician, not an entrepreneur at that point. So if you're going to start a business, get like a mentor, a coach, whoever, a good advisor, someone who's been there, done it before, and really ask them the questions before making the jump, because that's going to help you get crystal clear on your vision and your goals. And are you building a business to sell Are you building a business for legacy to pass on to your kids? Which, by the way, folks, only 8% of your kids really do want your business. The rest don't.
True.
So
Yeah.
don't think that's the case. Or are you going to try to get it acquired? Or how are you going to exit? And I know it sounds crazy. I haven't even started my business, Steve, but you're telling me to create an exit strategy. I learned this the hard way. So, and I've seen it time and time again. My second business I built with an exit strategy in mind. I know now where my target is with my business. So everything I did in my business had to go to that target. It wasn't a straight line, but I was hyper focused on it. And guess what? That was one of my golden lessons I learned. And I had a coach, had me anytime I wanted to bring a new product or service into my business, they go, is that getting you to your target? Yes or no? Well, but no. It's yes or no. No. Then don't even look at it. Move on. Let's focus. And it was like, wow. I grew that business and sold it in 18 months.
18 months.
18 months. I went from just me with my Rolodex, and 18 months later, I had 9 employees and sold the company and out all the IP, everything.
So what if I want to keep a business and in my mind, I want the business to grow to become a legacy for my child? Is that something that is feasible? That's it's ideal to do? Because like you said, 8% of these businesses tend to have children who want to take on the business. Most of them don't. So is that a limitation in my mind, or is this something that I should even give a thought to in the first moment I start to make a plan for the business?
I'd say always think, okay, I'm going to pass this down to my kid, but you got to find out what their passions are too. You know, if you're a plumber and they don't want to have anything to do with plumbing,
true.
Then you better have plan B in your pocket to sell it, get it acquired, whatever the case may be, merge. But, you know, if you want to go down the legacy, and I've worked with people who had legacy, like they had all their kids working in the business. The kids were passionate about the business. They loved it. They were all engaged. And he didn't have a succession plan to hand it off to them. So the kids were nervous because is dad going to just die? And then we all just go around like, what's going on? Who's in charge? They had 4 kids in the business, and his grandkids were in the business. That's how passionate this family was. Huge business. And we sat with them. Where do you want it to be? The founder. And he goes, well, I think this kid's running it. This kid should be doing this. This kid. And so we sat with the kids. They all were on the same page. We came up with a transition succession plan. And then when he decided, he goes, I'm going to get out of here like 10 years early. Let me just go into sales. I'll be the chairman of the board. You guys run it.
You guys run it.
And we had a transition plan in place so everyone knew how to transition. And then we actually created another succession plan for the grandkids at the same time. So God forbid the kids, something happened to them, this grandkid could step up.
But what if the children don't want the business? What would you recommend the founder to do as such a situation?
So there's a difference between building a business and building an income stream. And I've seen that time and time again. And guilty of it is I'd made good money doing it, and then no one wants to buy it. Well, why? It's a great business. I'm making a lot of money. Well, when COVID hit, that was actually my busiest year because people were calling me, no one wants to buy my business. I go, you're right, because it's you. If you leave the business, there is no business. So you didn't build a business, you built a great income stream. So I say build a business, put in operating procedures, hire people, start passing these duties down, but document everything. So when it comes time, you're like, I'm ready to sell. Your ducks are in a row. And I've worked with people like this. All their ducks were in a row. They had operating procedures for everything that they were creating for 5 years. They had the right people in place. So they actually had time to take a vacation without worrying about the business.
So,
they built a business. So when they said, I'm done, she actually went to all the employees, I'm going to retire. I'm going to give you guys first crack to buy the business. The employees bought the business within 1 week. because there was a plan in place and everyone was so crystal clear on the business and they knew all the operating procedures. It was a business. So the employees bought the business and she got to retire.
Now, speaking about selling a business, what if this situation, this founder wants to sell the business to somebody else outside the company? At what point is he supposed to inform the employees about the process going on?
Yeah, we had that conversation with another lady who had a business. She was like, I don't really want to sell it to my employees. That was option one. And I said, you're in an association in your industry. Who are you like really buddy with, like really tight with, that you all know each other's businesses so well? And she gave like 8 names, like right off the bat. And I go, could you call one of those up and said, hey, I want to have lunch with you? And they would accept in like a heartbeat. She goes, all 8, yes. Which one would you want to sell your company to that you would feel good about? She named 2 of them. I said, call them up, go have lunch, give them a soft pitch, test the water. First one caught on like right away and said, I'll buy your company. Like, and wrote down and figure immediately. She ended up selling. After the lunch, she went to all her leadership team and said, listen, you all know I've been thinking about retiring and this and that. I'm going to merge. We're going to merge with a competitor, not sell. So you all are going to still be here. The business still runs. I need all of you. They need all of you. They're going to run it as a different division. And she actually made sure all her employees had a position after the sale.
Should that be in the discussion? How are you going to translate to your employees? Should it be any discussion about acquiring a business?
Once you have more down the road, I would always say like when paperwork is signed, because let's say I'm selling my business and you're one of my employees and you get wind of this, you're going to start updating your resume pretty fast and start getting it out.
That's very correct. Yeah.
So I have to make sure, okay, I keep it under, tight lips for a little bit. Okay, good. Now we're going to go to the sale. Now I can let my employees know, but I have to ease their frustration and fear because we're human. Listen, first thing we think of when we hear merger, sale, retirement, I'm going to lose my job. First thing.
Yeah.
So it's up to the leader, the owner, to like have a solution for that. And I've seen mergers where someone says, listen, we're only going to take 4 out of, I think it was like 75 people to the merger because otherwise it's dual positions. So what we tried to do is with the buying company said, hey, can all those other people apply for other positions? And they agreed. They didn't get a lot of them, but it was something. So they literally closed that shop down. They made signs. They literally closed it down and took all the assets and those 4 people.
Wow. Okay, so now I have, I've messed up a lot of questions.
It's all good.
I wanted to ask for individuals who are in full-time and they have an idea. They've done the research, they've done the market when they are not working, maybe on weekends or their free time. They've outsourced research to individuals, they have the team. Would you recommend or advise an individual who's got the capital saved, he's got the experience, he's got the team, he has projected 6 to 7 months time frame that, okay, if I invest my time in the business, I probably will start making something, maybe not profit, but something. Right. Would you recommend him or this individual to just leave his employment and then just go on to start the business?
Being an entrepreneur for so long, and I'm one of those will jump and then try to figure out, I call it jumping in the abyss. I don't know what's down there. I don't know how deep it is. I'll just jump because I believe in it. And I pray and I'm fine. Hope I find a parachute on the way down. I don't recommend that for a lot of people because of the stress. But if I've had those people, I've talked to them, it's like, great, let's look at your finances. This is going to sound crazy. Now we're looking at your personal finances and your family life. Because if you're married, your spouse's first thing in their head is, how are we going to pay for the mortgage?
That's
number
true.
one.
That's true.
How are we going to survive?
Yeah.
So you have to put all this in consideration. And I say, great, you're projecting 6, 7 months before it starts making a buck. okay, let's project, because I always over project on those things, a year and a half, realistically, because we all think, hey, well, I'm going to be making money the second I open up my doors. Reality is a different story.
True.
I'd rather have you make sure you have the living finances, your operating income, because you still have to pay probably rent,
Yeah.
utilities if it's a brick and mortar, or if it's a service based, you still have internet, computer, you have all these other expenses. Can you afford not having a paycheck come in? Plus, you probably just lost your health insurance,
Yeah.
your life insurance, all these other things that you have to take in consideration. So I always get to the personal side on that first, because plus, is your spouse, your family going to be supportive? If they're not, I can guarantee you, no matter how many hours you put in, how hard you try, you're going to fail, because you got someone at home telling you what a bad idea this is, because you're not making money in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not an overnight success, and it's going to get up here,
Yeah.
and then it's going to start coming out of here. And then next thing you know, wonder why you're repellent versus attracting people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a mindset and finance thing. And yeah, I've been there too. It's like, I got rid of a lot of negative people on one of my businesses. They said how dumb it was and what a stupid idea. It was right after the tech. My first business was in the tech space. And of course it popped along with the tech bubble. And I did what any entrepreneur should do. Turn off the lights in my bedroom, crawl up in a corner and cry for 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's when it hit me to start the second business, that there's still people out there with venture capital funding, because I helped a lot of these. So they have the money, but they're now beaten up because they're not business people. They're techies.
Yeah.
So that my second business was consulting tech companies to build a business. And oh my God, I had a detailed business plan, the marketing. That was the second company it blew up and sold it in 18 months.
Your business, how much percentage of personal investment in terms of time, research, walking around, doing the sales pitch, should you, who has the idea, do? And how much of your operation analysis should you do individually? And how much of it should you outsource?
Yeah, definitely. You better put in the majority. And one question I've seen from many companies is, how much skin did you put in the game for me to invest? And when someone goes, well, I just put a couple $1,000, but meanwhile, you're asking for $1 million.
Millions of dollars, yeah.
So why would we invest $1 million when you're only putting in a penny? So we're out. It's a simple thing. But I see this with entrepreneurs. It's like, if you don't know accounting, don't do it. I swear to God, you're causing time and frustration, and your time's more valuable selling versus trying to figure out what the hell is on a profit loss statement. Find someone who loves that. They're going to charge you this.
Yeah.
And they're going to do it in no time, where you're going to spend those kind of things. Outsource that stuff. You don't know how to build a website. Don't build a website. It's going to take you too long. You're frustrated. You don't know it. Hire someone, and they can get it done really super fast. And they probably have a lot more knowledge about the industry and your industry than you think. I can't say this enough. Get a coach. It took me the longest time to accept that.
How do you get a coach? How do you look for a coach?
Yeah. So I had to write down what I wanted in my business. And I took this from another entrepreneur, and I've lived by it because I've seen it time and time again. He goes, before you hire a coach, okay, what do you want? Personal, business, you have to be crystal clear. And that that makes you really think. Then find out how you like to be worked with, because you have to be open now. You got to put that ego to the side, and you have to accept and understand. So I found certain kind of coaches, I want to be talked to like this. I want this kind of accountability. And I had my list of what I'm looking for in a coach. And I even wrote a book about it.
Yeah.
Find, please take it, use it for anybody. Just ask the questions, interview them. Remember, you're the boss here. You interview coaches to see if it's a right fit for you. And some coaches were a great fit and some not. But once I found the right one, I signed on for like a 3-month agreement that I can always exit out to test it to make sure they're the right person for me. I looked at it the opposite. And since that time, how many people I've coached, how many coaches I've spoken with, they all go, I'll be more than happy to give a 3-month agreement to make sure I'm the right coach for them. Because it's about them. It's not about me. And once I found the right coach, I swear my one business turned around in 45 days, same in my personal life, because I was open. I listened. A lot of things I didn't believe in, but I did it because the coach pretty much, they see things in you you can't see. And I always say, Michael Jordan had 28 coaches. Michael Jordan, in my opinion, greatest basketball player ever.
No, he is. He is.
And he had a dribbling coach, a passing coach, a shooting coach. He had the head coach. He had a trainer. He had a nutrition coach. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But why? He wanted to be the best. And he said in one article, I can't see myself dribbling. I can't see myself shooting. They see things in me that I can't see, and they correct it and put me on the right path. And I follow it, and I notice, dang, they see things in me I can't even see. So why wouldn't I have a coach?
So how do you know that the coach you have has your best interest at heart? How would you know?
That one's easy because I've found those that don't. And I see it too, unfortunately, in this industry. When it's, okay, I can't be more passionate about your business than you.
True.
If that's the case, I'm not the right person for you because you want a mother, a babysitter. I can't be that. I'm going to give you the tough love. I'm going to push you because I'm seeing things in you that you don't see, but it's all in your best interest. But we have to have a goal in mind to go towards it because I kid you not, we're all entrepreneurs. It's like shiny object syndrome. But I want to bring this in my business. Well, is it helping your business? Is it going to grow your business? Well, not really. Then don't touch it. But I love it. Great. You can love it all you want. Don't do it because it doesn't help your business. And you need that coach to give you that tough love, as I say. And I've had some coaches that I'd call them up with what I thought it was a simple solution, but I'm stuck. And next thing I know, I feel like someone just kicked me on my groin. And afterwards, it's a shock. But then I go, oh my God, they're right. But if they didn't do that, I would have gone down this path, spent lots of money, wasted time, and probably lost customers.
Yeah, that's a very solid one you said there. That's a very solid one. There's this saying that people have that if you leave your 9 to 5 and start a business, you get financial freedom. That financial freedom comes from you have your time, you can wake up anytime you want to wake up and just go about your day. How true is that?
Not much. It can be true. And we've talked about this on, I think, workshops, seminars, everything. It can be true if you build a business. Because I've seen it. I've been there. I want to go on a vacation. I can't. I'm afraid if I leave the business because I don't have any employees, so I have to close the doors. That's not a business. And it's like, oh, well, my spouses and my kids are working in the business. Okay, I still go on vacation. Who's coming with me?
True.
My spouse and my kids. The business has to close. You didn't build a business yet. But one time I did start building a business where I could take a month off, not worry about a single thing because everyone was crystal clear on what they were doing. And I didn't pick up my phone, didn't look at an email, never heard from them. Came back a month later. I'm now refreshed, really relaxed.
Yeah.
And then I get the updates and I'm so happy I hired the right people and with the right direction. And then that's when I realized I have a business. That's when you start taking the freedom. And I've seen it in many businesses. They show up at 11 or noon and work 3-4 hours and then they're out. That's also some bad morale act, unless you have other businesses going on. It doesn't help morale. But you know what? You have that luxury to do that. And you look at millionaires and people who are highly successful in business, they built multiple pillars of income streams. And I highly recommend that to businesses. Build multiple income streams. So if something fails, you're okay. You got other going. Now you get the freedom. But you got to make sure you're ready to take the freedom too, because you got to let go. And most entrepreneurs are micromanagers because that's their baby and they're not going to let go of their baby.
Yeah.
And it's tough. I'll tell you that. I get it. I've been there. I swear it's hard. But the second you start letting go and trusting people you hire right, boy, talk about that lifting off your shoulders to sleep in an extra hour, or you could actually be sick one day and everything's going to be okay. Whereas an entrepreneur, you're sick. Guess what you have to do? Get out of bed and go.
Yeah. So let's get practical a little bit. So let's just say, for instance, I have experience on managing trucks that move merchandise across the border between Canada and the US. And now I want to start a business. Just the first 5 steps you would advise I take.
I actually had someone who was working in the trucking industry, logistics, and they were working for someone, but they were that shining star in the company. So,
Okay.
The vendors or the customers kept asking for this guy, always on time, personable, always explain things, never missed a route. And then he started realizing, wait a minute, why am I working for them? I'm the shining star. So he actually went to the owner and said, listen, I want to form my own business. And this is where I was coaching him. Can you buy my first truck and be a partner with me?
Interesting.
And then I will subcontract with you when I can, or you'll get first right. And the owner did it, bought half of a first truck for this guy. He went out and got his own clients, separate than what he was working on, because his reputation was good enough. Started his company. Then I said, you have a problem. You have a time problem. Because if you're not behind the wheel, who's driving?
Who's driving? Yeah.
So we had to find drivers, and he didn't violate anything with his old boss. He started finding drivers, and he went to his boss and other people in that industry. Hey, I need funding to buy another truck. And he had a good enough reputation. They took his calls and his meetings. He ended up with 5 trucks within 7 months because of his reputation in that. And he had a good, solid business plan to show them a return on that investment. So he realized that was the day he stopped driving in a truck. And we were having our meeting and he goes, I'm really sad. And I go, because you're not behind the wheel. 100%. And I go, which is nicer? Knowing every mile made you a penny, or sitting in your office overseeing everything and you're making dollars?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I never thought I go. If you ever want to hop in the truck, your driver's sick, you feel the need, hop in.
Yeah.
But your model says you don't drive.
So how do you balance things? How do you balance starting a business, managing a growing business, family and personal time? And for those who are still working because the business is not strong enough for them to jump ship, how would you recommend an individual or individuals manage those scenarios?
And I live and die on my calendar. I know it's sad and good. And it has proven time and time again, that's what it works for me.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's paper, electronic, on your phone, whatever you use, you got to find something to get the balance in. I actually have on my calendar lunch and dinner, family time to go out and recharge. Yeah. It's all on my calendar. And I've had people look at it like, why do you have lunch booked every day? I go, because if I don't, I won't eat.
Yeah.
And they're like, they think it's funny. I go, I am jam-packed and I need to give time for me.
So, yeah.
And that's how I do it. And they laughed. I have dinner on there. Well, why? I have all my travel time in there. Everything, because the way I look at it, I can maximize my day by being organized and focused. But I also know, hey, how can I prepare for this podcast? How can I had time to make sure research you before I said, hey, I'd love to be a guest. I checked it out. And I give myself time to go look at that stuff. And I think for entrepreneurs, this is where you need to block out time. And if you already have a business, I love this one, and I've been doing it still. is I block out 2 to 3 hours every Friday late afternoon because no one's going to pick up their phone or respond to emails, it seems like. They've all checked out. That's your strategic planning. Look at what you did this past week for 4.5 days. Prepare how you're going to handle the next week and focus. And then you could have your Monday morning meetings with your staff and you are crystal clear where everyone needs to be this week. I kid you not, that one has paid off 1,000,000 times over. Take it, steal it, do it. I see high entrepreneurs that have like huge companies, like even 35, 100 plus million. You talk to the CEO. What do you mean? Every Friday afternoon, I close my door, do not disturb. I sit down, look at financials. I plan for the next week. I plan for the next month. I look at it against our business plans. I look at it against our budgets. They are always forward facing.
Wow. Okay. I have one last question left.
Yeah.
So it brings it back to your book. One of your books, the books you've written that I saw in Amazon is The 10 Secrets All Businesses Should Know for Success.
Yeah.
And there you talked about continuous innovation. You talked about customer engagement. Can I, as a business owner, see that as needless? But because if I have a portfolio of customers that patronize my business and I feel, I think this is not necessary. Is this something that every business should pay attention to? Continuous innovation and customer engagement.
Oh, absolutely. Because we saw it in COVID. During COVID, businesses didn't innovate. And guess what? They got slaughtered, just slaughtered, because they wouldn't pivot. I worked with restaurants at the beginning of COVID, restaurants. So they're shut down.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And a couple of them, it was like, wait a minute, I know you have a huge marketing database. You have a good email database. Yeah, we have like 25,000 people on our email list. What's your open rate? Oh, around 80%. Wait, we're going to use it. And we started working how to get around the COVID rules in their city, their state. And next thing you know, they're doing to-go orders so they can do curbside delivery. They had cones set up. That's a business that decided to innovate and find a solution. During COVID, they hired 17 employees. That was double their staff. They got more press by giving meals to first responders. They ended up winning a ton of awards. Meanwhile, dining rooms still closed. They made more money in COVID with their dining room closed. So we started talking about how else we can do this. So they figured out it was a barbecue restaurant in Texas, which is on every corner down there. And we started cryovacuuming their barbecue and packing it in dry ice and shipping it around North America. That was a whole new business that they've never dreamt of. And they were innovating. And that's where all businesses should be looking at is what else is next? What's next? How can I help my customers? How can I bring in more customers? How can I attract ancillary products, possibly? Whatever your business may be. The guy who I was talking about, the trucking, he had little teeny trucks made up with his logo on it. He gave them away to kids everywhere. Marketing. It brought him in more clients, those dang little trucks. He wouldn't think of this because no one else was doing it. Nobody in his industry at that time, around him.
Yeah.
And it just separated him from everyone else, but that was innovative. So I say, no matter what your business is, think of what else can you help your customers with? How can you expand your base, your target market? Don't go way out, but stay true to who you are in your business.
Those little gifts, do they really work? Those little free toys, gifts.
He sent me one. I go, this is so cool. It was always on my desk. Everyone picked it up who came in my office. And they're like, that's so cool. It was a dump truck. And it literally lifted up. And they thought it was cool. And I go, do you need shipping? This is only one of his trucks. He does long haul as well. So it was like, what do you need? He'll take care of you.
Wow. I've really enjoyed our time together. You have said a lot that even I have benefited from. I literally have a pen.
So, my pleasure. I just hope it really does help people to help them grow their business.
Yeah, because from my experience, I've come to see, first of all, the coaching thing is a factor. Many people just believe I have the experience. I know what I want to do. I've done my research. I'm just going to be fine. That's one. So they don't tend to trust people's view. So when you say, coach, how are you sure? They come with this skepticism that how are you sure this coach got my interest at heart? Then they do not do a lot of research. They don't do innovations. They're not open for it. They're very complacent about it. Mainly when they have a portfolio of customers that buys their product. So they get comfortable. Like, I don't need it. So believe that listeners will benefit from this. It's a push for everyone. And something I also appreciated that you stated is how you schedule your time. You didn't believe in yourself and just say, oh, I know I have an appointment by 1:00. I'm going to be there.
Oh, I'll miss that all day if I think it in my head and it's not on my calendar.
Because some of us are overconfident in ourselves.
But yeah.
And then there's, I also appreciate the fact that you also have time for your family, because you are not encouraging people to bury themselves in their business at the expense of their family time and personal time. That's not what you're saying. You're saying you need to balance everything because they play a role. And if your partner or your family members don't support you in what you're doing, maybe because of the amount of time you invest in your business, those are your first supporters in a business. So these are little things among others you said that I really, really appreciate, Steve. And thank you. Like, I appreciate the time you've put in this, the research.
Yeah.
I put in it as well.
Well, see, I want to make sure I'm the right fit for you and help your audience. So, that's part of my goals. Like I said, that's my passion. So I better make sure it aligns.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That's how we wrap up our podcast for today, listener. This is Steve, and Steve is very experienced with helping startup businesses. He has an MBA in business strategy, and I believe all of us have benefited from his podcast. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you for having me.
I'll reach out to you more in the future for more discussions on businesses.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right.